this video, we're going to talk about Mountain Mayhem. What is Mountain Mayhem?
If you're looking for adventure, grab the modules each month to support the channel and play the campaign with your gaming group. You're sure to get hooked on adventure.
Welcome to Quest Givers. I'm the DMG, and with me, as usual, is DM Scotty. And today we're joined by Tabletop Witchcraft, John, and his brother Nate. It is Nate, or is it Nathaniel?
Nathaniel, but hey, he works in a pinch too.
Okay. Pinchy.
Oh no, there you go.
So we're here to talk about our brand spanking new module, Mountain Mayhem, which we've all collaborated on. It's been a long time coming. We started this, a year and a half ago, probably.
Yeah, it's been that long.
It's been a pre-COVID, post-COVID, mid-COVID, after COVID, everything has been going on with this. So we were, as usual, we were finally trying to stoke the fires of other creators to come on board and do modules with us. And John put his hand up and said, I've got this great idea for a build that I want to do. And we said, well, we're going to make a module about it. And as you can see in his shot there, it is in the background. It's a beautiful airship. And you can actually see it being built on Tabletop Witchcraft, the channel, which links in the description below. Scotty, you can start us off with what the hell is Mountain Mayhem?
Mountain Mayhem is a heist. Basically, you are a group that's enlisted against your will. You start out as prisoners, which is always a fun kind of trope for fantasy.
Yeah, right. For sure.
Yeah, exactly. And it's right after we gathered at the inn, and the man in the cloak came up to us, right? Right after that, when you start in
the prison. Yeah, I mean, what else could we add?
And I love it because they're dragged before the king, and the other group who said no into the mission are getting their heads chopped off, right?
We slipped on them on the way in.
Yeah, so that's kind of convincing that maybe we should do this, right? And get a full pardon, which is great. Which is something like this is the start of all these kind of heist movies where the people are kind of brung together, all these different personalities brung together, to do this heist thing. And the king has his way to keep track of the players with this royal assassin, right? So you got that. You got her on your back, and then you're making your way to and there's this little thing going on with this rat plague that's happening in the kingdom, right? This is a little weird thing, and it keeps popping up throughout the adventure. So when you go to this other place, you're trying to get in there, you're trying to find your contact, but there's all this stuff going on. There's all these things happening, right? There's all these kind of false leads and red herrings and all this stuff. And all these great NPCs to discover. Gareth has done an amazing job with the NPCs. And there's dialogue for each NPC, which in a module this complex, right, with all these things happening, it's hard to keep all these characters straight and what they would know in your head. But he's got all the dialogue for the main characters right there for you. So when you ask the character something, it's right there. What this character knows is right there. You don't have to go reference back where was the summary to this character and that. It's right there on the page, ready to go. So that's fantastic. That's one thing I love about the Quest Givers modules, that they have that. But so as you're working your way through this, there's all different kinds of ways to go. It's the opposite of railroad. It's like, where it starts you out of the railroad, kind of like here you're stuck in this mission. But once you get there, it's so open to how you approach it. And you're trying to find your contact, and you're meeting all these interesting people who are, crisscrossing the way that the thing is going to resolve. And your mission is to, stop this super weapon, right? This super weapon is going to cause, unbalance in the kingdom, and it's going to be it's this huge deal, which is the airship behind John, which we have some fantastic pictures in the module so you can see. One thing I want to mention about the pictures, the John's stuff is so amazing. This is off track, but John's stuff is so amazing, and we sweetened him up a little bit. And when I play online, generally what I like to do is like use pictures of locations, not maps. And the fluid nature of this adventure is you could take those pictures, put them in your tabletop, program for when you play online, and then pull those pictures up for the background when you're doing your role playing, right? So when you're in the market, put the market picture up. When you're at the castle, put the castle picture up. When you see the airship, put that up, and they can see the glory of the airship, right? And you're not just describing it. There's a great picture, great pictures of the airship. So then the sewers, you just can feel the muck, John's terrain and everything. You just feel the muck on you and the stank, of the sewers.
It really helps bring the immersion in there for sure. Yeah.
Now, as it progresses, and and if you get to your goal, and how much of your goal you get, is part of it too. But I don't know if I should reveal the twist of the module. Maybe I should just
Which
keep it
one
kind
is
of
like 12.
Well, true, there are 12.
Nathaniel and I don't want to give it away, but we were just talking the other day about another twist that I didn't even pick up on that he told me about, and there's so many, and I love that the twist, the Easter eggs, it's awesome. And that's the nice thing too, is there's that twist in there for the people who need to have things laid out for them a little more, and then there's the twist in there for people that are really perceptive and will pick up on the little details. So there's really something to discover for everybody in this module, which makes it so awesome.
Totally. And I feel like the game master will discover the stuff maybe as you play, because the way the characters approach stuff, you're going to kind of see stuff in another light, right? As you're running it, which often happens in games, something you didn't think of, the players do. And and it's this thing has just got all that in it. So, yeah.
So, Nate and John, can you tell us what it was like to actually develop the module? Like, how did we start? What did we get up to in order to get it to where it is now?
Yeah, so I mean, I remember you coming to me originally and saying that he has this crazy idea for this huge build, the biggest build he's ever done. It's going to be awesome, and that you guys wanted to come together and make a story about it. So we sat down, storyboard style, and tried to figure out how are we going to incorporate all these different pieces into the story. And we really came up with the idea, all together, trying to make this story where we rope the characters in, but we open it up to a sandbox, really, where there's just so many different events that can happen. And like you said, so many different paths you can take, but that somehow connects all the different builds that we have and all the photography we worked on, and really just came up with this awesome story that ultimately has multiple endings too. So you're coming together and getting all those little bullet points and characters and locations, and then being able to each, contribute little bits and pieces that really do, like Scotty, like you said, you can't think of everything as a DM. So all of us coming together really kind of added our own little flavor and taste to the module, which was nice. Yeah, that was great too, because then you would say something that would make me think of something, and then you two would jump in and say, oh, well, what if it went this way? And it just ended up being this massive, web of events that can happen. And they pretty much all made their way into the story. And that's the great thing, is you could play this probably 5 or 6 times and have it feel almost like a totally different adventure every single time, which is so awesome. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, it'd be different for every group. There's no question that it would be totally different for every group.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, the way that we approach these sort of things is that we take the ideas and we try to keep the essence of what was good about those ideas. And then, when I'm writing, it's like, it's just, how do I glue all these things together and then just apply that sort of polish to the characters and things like that. What dialogue is going to help improve this idea even more, to add that little callback to another module or to other little things in the module. If you do have perceptive players who are taking notes or thinking about things, they will know that this little piece of information actually relates to another little piece of information. But if you're just playing it through and you're a murder hobo and that doesn't matter to you, it still is an enjoyable, fun ride. You kill everything in sight. And we even incorporate, if you do that kind of thing, how the world turns against you and becomes even more mountain mayhem.
Well, good luck with all the rats in this video killing everything.
Yeah.
Which is that's another thing. The way things snowballed, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know how much I want to give away.
Yeah, you want to keep some secrets for everybody.
Yeah, it's a fun module.
It is. But speaking of the secrets, speaking of the secrets, one thing that I love to do as a DM for our group is to build things up for my player characters that look like they're going to go one way, and then at that pivotal moment have things switch around on them. And there's a little something for everyone in this module for people who like that as well. So,
and real quick too, if anybody's wondering why Nathaniel's here, okay, he's my brother. He DMs all of our sessions, and he's an incredible writer and very, very creative. Really gets into it, acts everything out. So yeah, thank you. I just want to thank him for that.
Yeah, hey, sure. It's a pleasure to do it.
No, it is a pure collaboration. It's like you can't put something like this together just sitting there by yourself coming up with ideas. You need extra people to like have the terrain where we had. I mean, there's a famous quote. The enemy of art is the absence of limitations, and one of the limitations placed on us in the beginning is what terrain does Tabletop Witchcraft have that we can use in this module?
Well,
and
if you
what
need something,
is the
I'll
weapon?
make it.
Yeah. but I mean, you don't want to spend months and months and months making
Right.
12 different pieces of terrain. So
Yeah.
you know that limitation is what breeds the inspiration to actually do certain things and go a certain direction. And picking a motif and picking a known story and saying it should be like this thing, and then using that as a template and then going in weird and wonderful directions. I think that you need more than one brand to kind of do that. And unfortunately, I've only got two brains, so
It's interesting that what you just said too, and I hope that all of your modules, not just this one, help to inspire people to get creative and craft and pick up a piece of foam and pick up Mod Podge and whatever they need, and start out with your dungeon tile or whatever, to thumb through the book and know that you can actually build these things. So I don't know, it's just kind of neat.
Oh, I agree. I think the terrain pictures really add. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I guess shameless plug. Any of the pictures that are in here, obviously it's all terrain, all videos that you can watch, and there's variations. Scotty and Gareth, you guys have awesome stuff on your channel too for adding your own little flair to the module too. So.
And there's the rest of the Quest Givers videos where it helps you with how to run games as well, not just in one specific game, but games in general. So, that's why we approach this as system neutral, so that it gives you the story and the flavor, which you can play in any kind of game. Because there's a lot of things where it kind of gets bogged down in the big two, and it's like, well, there are like 12,000 other games.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us here on Quest Givers. Please go and check out Tabletop Witchcraft and our other channels, the D&D Intro, and of course, DM Scotty, the craft father. We will see you again in the next video, and we have lots more modules on the way. So thank you for watching.